A history-making day on Wall Street today with the Dow closing above 40,000 for the first time ever. There's the historic number, 40,003.59. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ also had winning weeks.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average is, at best, an imperfect barometer of stock market activity among a narrow band of very large U.S. companies. It's clunky and too limited in scope for any Wall Street pros to pay serious attention to it. Nevertheless, the Dow persists. When the Dow hit the 40,000 mark on Thursday, the news was splashed across most major TV news chyrons and websites, that comforting whole number telling the world that something good is happening. Maybe you're not quite sure what it means, but you know it's up, and up is better than down. Comprising 30 stocks, it offers a snapshot of America. But it's more than just a number. It's a narrative of booms and busts, of fortunes won and lost. This story began over a century ago when Charles Dow, a financial journalist, created the Dow Jones Industrial Average in 1896. His goal was to measure the health of the American economy. He chose 12 stocks, representing the industrial heart of the nation: railroads, sugar, oil, the building blocks of a young, ambitious country. Over time, the Dow has evolved. Companies have come and gone, reflecting the shifting tides of the economy. Tech giants have replaced industrial behemoths, and the number of stocks grew to 30. But the core idea remains the same. The Dow is a barometer of American capitalism. It's not perfect, this index. Critics argue it's too narrow, too focused on large companies. But for over a century, the Dow has been a beacon, guiding investors through the fog of the market. A simple number, yet one that carries the weight of history. The early 20th century was a time of rapid change for the Dow. The index reflected the growing pains of a nation undergoing industrialization. The first major crash came in 1907, a panic that shook Wall Street. The Dow plummeted, a sign of financial instability. World War I brought volatility. Markets swung wildly as the global conflict unfolded. But then came the Roaring '20s, a time of economic prosperity, a boom that saw the Dow soar to new heights. The index reflected the optimism of a nation on the rise. But the party couldn't last forever. The 1929 crash marked the end of an era. The Dow plummeted, losing nearly 90% of its value. The Great Depression began, casting a long shadow over the American economy. The Dow, once a symbol of prosperity, became a stark reminder of the fragility of the market. The 1930s were a dark chapter in American history. The Great Depression gripped the nation, and the Dow reflected the despair. Unemployment soared, businesses crumbled, breadlines stretched for blocks. The Dow bottomed out in 1932, a mere 41 points, a far cry from the heady days of the Roaring '20s. But slowly, painfully, the economy began to recover. President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal brought hope. Programs like the Works Progress Administration put people back to work. The Dow responded, inching upwards, a sign of renewed confidence. It was a long road back, years of hardship, years of uncertainty, but the American spirit endured. And the Dow, battered but not broken, became a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is hope for a brighter future. Post-war boom and bust riding the economic waves. The post-war era brought a new wave of prosperity. The Dow reflected this growth, reaching new highs in the 1950s. The American dream was alive and well. Suburban homes, new cars, a booming stock market. The Dow was a symbol of this newfound affluence. But the ride wasn't always smooth. The 1970s brought stagflation, a toxic mix of high inflation and slow economic growth. The Dow stagnated, reflecting the uncertainty of the times. The oil crisis, political upheaval, and social unrest. The Dow became a mirror to the anxieties of a nation in flux. The 1980s saw a resurgence. Ronald Reagan's presidency ushered in an era of deregulation and economic growth. The Dow responded, climbing steadily throughout the decade. A bull market took hold, fueled by technological innovation and a renewed sense of optimism. The Dow, once again, became a beacon of prosperity. The dot-com bubble, a tech-fueled frenzy. The late 1990s saw the rise of the internet, a technological revolution that transformed the world. The Dow, reflecting this new era, soared to unprecedented heights. The dot-com bubble inflated, fueled by speculative investments in internet companies. Fortunes were made overnight. The Dow became a symbol of this tech-fueled frenzy. But the bubble couldn't last forever. In 2000 it burst. The Dow plummeted, erasing trillions of dollars in value. Dot-com companies collapsed, their promises of riches turning to dust. The Dow, once a symbol of boundless optimism, became a stark reminder of the risks of irrational exuberance. The early 2000s saw the Dow recover, albeit slowly. The September 11th attacks dealt a blow to the economy, and the Dow reflected the uncertainty. But the American spirit endured, and the Dow once again became a symbol of resilience. A reminder that even in the face of adversity, the market, like the nation, finds a way to bounce back. Dow 40K, a new era of prosperity, 2024. A year of milestones, a year of records shattered. The Dow Jones Industrial Average breaks through the 40,000 barrier. A momentous occasion, a testament to the enduring strength of the American economy. But what does it mean? Is this a sign of a new era of prosperity? Or is it a warning sign, a bubble waiting to burst? The Dow, for all its history, is just a number, a reflection of market sentiment, a snapshot of the present. The future remains unwritten. The Dow may continue its upward climb, reaching new heights, or it may falter, succumbing to unforeseen challenges. Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The Dow, this simple index, will continue to tell the story of American capitalism, a story of booms and busts, of triumphs and setbacks, a story that continues to unfold.